Hello, welcome back. We will talk about object-oriented programming from now on. Object-oriented programming takes the view that we really care about are the objects. We want to manipulate rather than the logic required to manipulate them. First, let's discuss about class. Class is more like a blueprint that describes the property and behaviors we care about. For example, here on this slide, we have a car class. We have some attribute or property that we may care about. We have fuel and max speed. In addition, we have some behaviors we care about. We call them method or function. In Python, we used to call them functions. That's all we care about in class. As you can see, it's a blueprint of a car. We have attributes over here and some behaviors the car may have over here. We have properties over here and the behaviors a car may has, like refuel and set speed, drive, etc. Once we got the class, which is the blueprint of the car, we can produce a real car, which we called an instance of class. As you can see, we can produce different instances with the car class. We got objects, Polo, and Mini. Now, let's see one more concrete example over here. Here we have a person class. A person may have a name and age, sex, etc. And also, we may have behaviors like eat, work, and sleep. We have a real instance of the person class with specific information such as her name is Lucy, she is a girl and 28 years old. And we have specific behaviors such as eat, work, and sleep, etc. Now, let's go into code and see how it works. First, let me open my notebook. And we're going to over here and we're going to create another file. Let's call it OOP, Object-Oriented Programming. And here we're going to define a person class. We use class keyword person. Here I'm going to define a very special function called initial function, and we will talk about more about it later. And say define initial function, and we have a self. Now all the property will be defined over here like this: self, and the name we give it a noun, and self age we give a 0 as a default, and self dot, and here we're going to say sex equal noun, we don't know. And then we can define other behaviors like sleep and work and eat, etc. First, let's define eat. Maybe I'll give a blank space over here. Here we simply print says self. We'll concatenate the name, say self dot name. We will get the name is eating, and we will copy it for save some typing. Work, and here we will say working, and sleeping, sleep, and say sleeping. Okay, that's all about this class. And now let's create a new instance of the person. We're going to say this object will be Lucy, and we give a variable name called person object, and we will new the instance in this way. Once we have this specific object, we can give the specific information such as the name, and the age, and the agenda, etc. So let's give it. Say person name is Lucy, person object age is 28, person sex is a woman. Now we have a person class over here, which is the blueprint, and we produce that object over here. Now let's use it. We run it. Now we can print or use the information of the object person because it's wrapped as an object. Now person, let's say name, you can say print. Now we got the information. Now we can call the behaviors in the person on the specific object. However, we have to tell the object those behaviors belong to the specific person. So we have to tell those functions, say self. So I'm going to just copy it and pass them. Now we can call the behavior in this specific person, Lucy. Now let me call it person object 8. As you can see, we got the result. We can manipulate this object by call itself behavior. Now let's discuss more about initial function. In some other programming languages, sometimes it's called constructor function. And it also can have other parameters as well. Let's redefine the person class again with some specific parameter in the initial function. Here for save type, I'm going to copy and then paste over here. We can do it this way. Name is equal to name. Here, this name is the parameters which we are passed when we call or define a real person, and this will be the value, and to assign the object property, and the same to age and sex. Now we can redefine this person class. Now let's create another person object. Let's call it person object 2, and we will say person. But in this situation, we have to give a specific name, age, and sex, etc. because they are all required over here. Sorry, I missed sex over here. So if we run this way, there will be error message shown up. As you can see, it requires the arguments. Now we will give the specific information. We can say name is give another name, maybe Kelly, and age is 27. What else we need? Oh, the sex. We will say sex is also a girl or maybe woman. Now, sorry, I added the sex over here, so I have to redefine the class, which means I have to rerun. As you can see, the object 2 has been created. Now, let's use the behavior to confirm whether it is true. Kelly is 80 is correct, and we can say sleep. As you can see, we also got the correct result. Okay, that's all about class and object. Basically, class is a blueprint, whereas an object is a specific instance of the class. And we also talked about initial function. Initial function, also called construction function in other program language. Here we just call about initial function, and it will conclude the basic information like this. We can pass the basic information by initial function. Also, we can give it later when we have the object, as the first time we did over here. Okay, that's all about object in a class, and see you next video. Bye bye.